Yesterday, we highlighted the Edelman Trust Barometer article and some leadership ideas out of that. One piece I mentioned in there we're going to highlight today, and that is tribes. We're going to talk about tribes today. Whether we like it or not, that Trust Barometer report is indicating that the world is becoming even more tribal. Doesn't mean that trust is disappearing, but it's clustering. People are pulling inward toward their own people, their own circle, their own version of reality. And that's not inherently bad, but there's possibility of it not being good either. Seth Godin has famously argued that tribes are powerful, and he's right. At their best, tribes offer belonging, they can accelerate coordination, it gives people a sense of identity and purpose, helps ideas to spread faster than institutions ever could. Consider this. Every meaningful movement in history started out as something tribal. Agree or disagree? Tribes reduce friction inside the group. They answer the question, who are my people? And when the world feels chaotic, tribes are stabilizing. Now here's the turn. The Edelman report showed that 70% of people globally are now hesitant or unwilling to trust someone who's different than them, somebody outside their tribe. It's indicating that tribal ideas are hardening. And then a few things happen. Loyalty starts to matter more than truth. Belonging matters more than accuracy. Dissent feels like betrayal instead of just a disagreement of opinion. And curiosity can start to feel dangerous. At that point, a tribe stops being a launch pad and starts being a fortress. And this is where it can get ugly. Under stress, tribes don't just bond inward. They define themselves against an enemy. Edelman shows in the Trust Barometer declining exposure to opposing views, rising fear of the other, contaminating information, and growing grievance that the system is rigged. It's a recipe for increasing tribalism. It starts to punish nuance, and it's rewarding certainty, even in uncertain situations, and it's turning disagreement into moral failure. This is where tribes stop creating meaning and start policing identity. And once that happens, it's weaponized. So what do we do? When faced with divisive issues, the most trust-building move for organizations is not to take sides. It's encouraging cooperation despite disagreement. It's leadership in a tribal environment. So tribes are not going to be inevitable. Tribalism is not necessarily a bad thing. The goal is not to eliminate this tribal thinking. The goal is to prevent tribes from becoming prisons. This requires leaders who can do three things. We talked about it yesterday. Abandon your ego so that your identity is less fused to the tribe. Walk your talk. Prove your values by how you act. And stay curious. Connect people when it looks like there's no connection. Broker trust. Lead adaptively. Let's clear something up that can be a little foggy here about encouraging cooperation without having to choose a side. This doesn't mean that you're neutral about ethics and morals, or that you lack values, or you're avoiding hard conversations. It means that you refuse to organize the systems around ideological winners and losers, and instead organize it around shared problems, shared constraints, shared outcomes. Designing for cooperation is hard. Try the download. It's to a working Google Doc that you can play with. See about fostering trust in your organization. So now it's your turn. Is your tribe helping you see more clearly, or just helping you feel safer? Are you building resilience, or are you building walls?